Hello and welcome to our newest podcast for Beaufort County called Beaufort Book Talk. We are here today with our wonderful panelists, Traci and Amanda. We're going to be talking about everything to do with the library systems, including some of our favorite books and some services. So why don't you guys take a moment and introduce yourselves?
Sure. My name is Traci Cox. I'm the Marketing and Communications Manager for the library system. I've been with Beaufort County Library for almost 17 years.
Wow, it's amazing.
I think we joined around the same time. So I've also been with the Beaufort County Library for about 17 years, and I'm blessed to serve currently as the library director. So never a boring day and always something fun to do.
It's amazing, you guys, and we are so thankful to have you guys here with us. So like I said, throughout this podcast, it's going to be a series, and we're going to have different topics to discuss, and we're also going to have different panelists. But the first one, we kind of want to just do an introduction and then kind of get to know you guys and figure out what the podcast is really going to be about. So to start things off, we're going to have a quick library spotlight. So I want you guys to tell me a bit more about a service or a hidden gem that a lot of people may not be aware of or know about with our libraries.
Yeah, should I go ahead and kick it off? Okay, so something that not everybody knows about, but it is heavily used, is we call them our fax scan units. But they're little self-service units in all of our library branches where you can scan a document and essentially turn it digital. Whether you send it to yourself via email or somebody else, you can fax it. You can enhance photographs. The units even translate documents. So there's a variety of languages to choose from. But it's just an easy way to scan something. You don't have to go to Staples. These services are free. They're self-service. And like I said, they're at every single library branch. And they are heavily used. A lot of people don't know about it, but when they do discover it, it's like, oh, I had no idea you had this. It's a easy to use touchscreen, but our library staff are always available to help.
That's amazing. And of course, you always want more people to be able to come in and use these services and heavy on the free. And we have libraries all over the county, so it should be accessible to just about wherever you live. You should be able to get to one.
Yes.
And Amanda, any service for you?
Well, I would love to piggyback on that. My favorite part of the scan fax units is that we recently configured the ability for them to print as well. So if you wanted to scan something, you could translate it even into Klingon, which is my favorite feature of that. Just for fun, you should try that. But you could then print it. So if you needed to print, you can do that all from the same screen without ever having to log onto a computer. We love that it's kind of seamless in that way. And I think there's just so much to explore, even with just that feature that we offer. So I hope people will come in and check it out.
Can you elaborate a little bit on Klingon? What is that?
Yeah, like Traci mentioned that it can translate into several languages. So if you happen to be a fan of sci-fi and you wanted to see what a book or an email maybe, or something that you have, maybe your medical results, what that would look like in Klingon or Spanish or German or Italian, you could have that unit translate that for you.
Really? That's a really great feature. That's interesting. I had no idea that something like that was even possible. It's great that we have those capabilities here with the Beaufort County Library system. So I want to hear a little bit more about what you guys have coming up. I know it's almost summer reading, but I want to hear more in detail.
Yeah, so we just wrapped up our summer reading bookmark contest and announced the winners. The artwork is awesome. So those will be available at all of our library branches at the start of summer reading, which begins this year on May 31st. So we are busy planning and getting everything ready. It's going to be our usual print format game board. We love it because you can just hang it on your refrigerator and everybody in the family can play along. It's for all ages. We are also bringing back the summer lunch program where children and teens can get a free lunch at all of our library branches. And the summer reading program will go from May 31st to July 31st. And there's going to be a ton of events, prizes. So make sure you don't have to register, which is a beautiful thing. Our kickoff events start on May 31st at all of our locations, and all of that is available on our website.
So go to your website to find this. No registration required.
No registration. You can come to our kickoff events on May 31st, or you can start anytime after that. And all you need is one of our paper game boards. And you don't even have to come in. If you have a printer at home, you can print off our game boards. But those will be available starting May 31st.
Okay, great. That's a great PSA. I need to get that information out there. Can you tell me a little bit more about the summer lunch program? Do you need to call ahead, register for that, or just show up?
No registration. It's just first come, first serve. All of our branches supply kids and teens with a free lunch. I believe eating on site is one of the requirements, but while you're there, you can play along with our summer reading program, grab a book and read. Sometimes I'll have sitting areas set up to consume the lunches, but that is a partnership with the school district.
How many years have you guys been offering that?
We're on year 5 or 6
Yeah,
of the summer
yeah.
lunch program, and it has evolved and enhanced over the years. So we're really thankful for that partnership, and it's funded through the USDA. So appreciate all of our partners that make that program possible.
Yeah, that's truly amazing, and I'm sure it helps so many people throughout the community.
Yes, and that schedule is available on BeaufortCountyLibrary.org.
Okay, so check out that website for sure. That's where you're going to find all this information.
One thing I wanted to add about summer reading is I like to always emphasize that it's reading whatever you want, however you want. We don't make you read any particular book. We hold you accountable just on your own honor. So if you want to listen to an audiobook, if you want to read your emails, 20 minutes a day is all we ask for. And so a lot of times people are doing that just with their social media feed. They're reading 20 minutes a day. So all reading counts and all ages count. So this there's a lot of focus on getting children to read to combat summer slide that they might lose by being out of school. But really, reading doesn't stop once you graduate high school. So really, our summer reading program is targeted for all ages because a reading community is a great community.
I'll argue I've read more since graduating high school for
That's
sure. Can you tell me more about what the summer reading game board looks like? You said 20 minutes a day. How does it really work?
Yeah, sure. Well, this year's theme is Color Our World. So readers will see what looks like an artist's palette, and each day is a little paint smudge, and that represents at least 20 minutes of reading. So you can either exit, you can color it, you can put a sticker on it, and that just represents that you completed your reading task for that day. You don't have to do every single day. There's a lot of wiggle room. It goes from May 31st to July 31st. So within that time frame, you have 30 days worth of reading to complete. So we know people go on vacation. Sometimes you don't get some reading done every day. We totally understand that. And then every 10 days that you read, you can bring it back to the library for a little prize. And then if you complete it, then you have the option to do our super reader bonus round. So those are for people who have plenty of time left in the middle of summer to do the super reader bonus round. And what that does is that gives you an additional grand prize entry slip. So you can double your chances of winning.
What kind of prizes are we looking at?
Well, we have lots of prizes. Yeah, we have, there's at least a 2-night hotel stay in there for adults. There's dolphin cruises. We have so many generous businesses in the area between Hilton Head, Bluffton, Beaufort, Port Royal, Lebico, St. Helena that donate gift cards for our summer reading program. So there are just dozens of prizes. So your odds of winning are very good.
It's amazing. Aside from summer reading, is there anything else you guys have coming up, events or anything?
Ooh.
That's our big push in the summer, but there's always book clubs that happen year round. So I would encourage people, if they're looking for community and around finding friends who also like to read, I suggest joining one of our book clubs. We have book clubs at each location. And we're even trying at Port Royal a silent book club. So that's kind of like a bring your own books kind of situation where you're just in a room with other like-minded readers and you're reading whatever you want. So sometimes you just need to build in some time in your schedule to read. And so this is for those busy people like me who just need to say, I'm going to the library at 2:00 on this day and I'm going to read my book that I've been wanting to get to, but the dishes and the kids and the chores are keeping me away.
Yeah, and we have story times every week at every branch. We have, like Amanda said, the book clubs. We have local history programs. We have arts and crafts programs. There are just thousands to choose from every month. So we have a event calendar on our website that is updated constantly with what's going on at all of our branches.
So speaking of reading and book clubs, what are your guys' favorite books, or what are you reading right now?
Well, a favorite book is such a hard question, I think, for a librarian. I think we kind of go through seasons in our life. Right now, as a working parent, I don't really get as much time to read as I used to. However, I find that I definitely lean towards the adventure, nonfiction survival stories. The most recent one I finished was The Wager, which is a seafaring adventure, just a true story, firsthand accounts of their survival. So those are the kind of books that I really enjoy. There's another book, Endurance, Unbroken. Those are all have some element of human resilience and perseverance.
That's awesome.
Well, for me, we also it's so hard to nail down what our favorite book is because as librarians, we are just so curious about all the books, right? So my favorite book is usually the one I just finished.
Right.
But I am currently in the process of reading a few. One of them is a juvenile or a children's chapter book. So I'm reading it. It's called The Library Girl. And I heard about it by a friend in town. And I was just intrigued by the story of a young girl who was raised in the library. She doesn't know who her parents are, but 3 librarians are working together to raise her. And it's just kind of interesting to see where the story might go. As I mentioned, I'm in the middle of it, so I don't yet know, but I'm intrigued to see how it finishes.
That's such an interesting topic. Is this a children's book or is it an adult level book?
It's a children's book, so it's kind of like, it reminds me of Matilda, so Roald Dahl and Matilda, this young girl with all these amazing possibilities and skills and talents, and how much she loves reading. And it's kind of like that, where there's this young girl who, for circumstances unknown, is left on the doorstep of the library, and these 3 librarians take her in, and they want to raise her, and they want to make sure she has a great life. And so for the first part of her life, as far as I've gotten in the book anyway, she's been raised in the library with a love of reading, and she's loving the library regulars, and she's just a staple in the library, and it's kind of cool to see what her life might take on.
It's like I said, an interesting topic. It's amazing what some of these authors can come up with. I would have never been able to think of something like that, so it's truly amazing. I personally just finished reading Carrie Soto is Back by Taylor Jenkins Reid, which officially marks the end of the Taylor Jenkins Reid historical universe. So I'm a little sad about that, but I have enjoyed reading those, and I think some of them are getting turned into movies. There's already the show, but so those are great books. I totally recommend. Have you guys read either of those? Any of those?
I haven't, no.
Wow.
I've read at least one of her books because it was based on Fleetwood Mac, and I'm a musician and love Fleetwood, so I wanted to have the backstory.
Daisy Jones, yes. They are completely fictional, but she's able to make them feel so real that it almost makes you think, like, once they're Googling Daisy Jones, oh, it's not even a real person, but it feels so real. So that's super interesting. Do you guys have any library resources you would recommend aside from the scanning machine?
We have a resource that not a lot of people know about. It's called tutor.com. And what that is, those are real live tutors available 24/7. They offer English and Spanish tutors for a variety of subjects. It's not just K through 12, although they do have a strong K through 12 presence on tutor.com. But to log in, all you need is your library card. You go to beaufortcountylibrary.org/tutor, and you can log in, and then they'll identify what kind of tutor you need help with. If you want algebra, calculus, they have ACT, SAT, GRE, prep. You can even submit a paper that you've written, like a draft of your paper, and a expert writer will review it and give you pointers on how to improve it. They will work through your problem until it's finished and guide you along. So again, that is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and you just need to visit our website to get assistance. And it's not just for kids, it's for adult and college students as well.
Really? Yeah. That's amazing. You guys have so many amazing resources here. I'm impressed by everything that you guys have said.
Well, I'll see if I can blow your mind with this one. Aside from tutor.com, another, I think, underutilized or unknown resource that we provide are digital magazines. So we have 3 resources that people can utilize. Number 1 is called Flipster. And within Flipster, there are 20 plus magazines that you can just view on your tablet, your phone, or your computer. Not only just the current issue, but also back issues as well. So I enjoy going there. My favorite example about that is I was in a coffee shop recently, saw a fashion magazine, and I liked the outfit I saw on the cover. I realized we had the digital subscription in Flipster, so I went back to Flipster, logged in, and was able to search and get right to the page and find out that information about that dress I wanted. So Flipster is a great resource for your regular marketplace magazines, but in a digital format. We also have free access to the digital editions of the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal. I don't know if you've ever priced those personal subscriptions, but by the library paying for that, we could save some people some real dollars by being able to access it through, as Traci mentioned, through our website without having to have a personal subscription. So before you cancel, try ours and see if it gives you the same experience.
That is amazing. I know a lot of times they'll have those, it'll say like 99 cents a month. And then after a month, then you're paying way bigger expense. And it is so important for people to have access to this information and these worldly topics that are happening day in and day out. So,
and I will say too, Flipster has a really easy to use app. If you're reading, say, People magazine and Flipster, you're just flipping the page really, and you can zoom in, you can zoom out, you can read older issues as well. Because I think, is it a weekly magazine? I think so, and it's just every week you have access to it for free.
So I know we've talked books, we've talked resources. Now I kind of want to talk movies. Do you guys have any movies you might recommend? Don't have to be based on a book. They can just be anything.
I'm trying to think of anything I've watched recently that I would totally recommend. But earlier this morning, we were talking about the Whitney movie, the biopic from a couple of years ago, based on the life of Whitney Houston. And I highly recommend it. And I'm pretty sure we have a copy or two in our collection that people could borrow and watch it on their own DVD player at home.
Oh, really? I haven't heard about that that biopic. So that's interesting. I don't know if I tend not to get into the like nonfiction or historical movies as much, but that definitely could be something for someone that's interested to check out.
Yeah, I kind of live under a rock right now. I can't think of any movie that I've watched that wasn't maybe the latest release in the theater for kids. But one thing that I do pay attention to is the release date for the Spider-Man, the Spider-Verse with Miles Morales, the animated version. And that's on such a slow release. I think the next date that they've set is maybe 2026. So I kind of have to mentally detach. But those are some of my favorite movies. They're really good.
And speaking of movies, like you just said, you guys have movies here that people can check out. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah, each of our branches have DVD collections that people can borrow, and they get a week to watch those at home. And obviously, because it's a circulating item, they can have the opportunity to renew them as well. Aside from movies, we also have TV series. So a lot of times people want to watch Yellowstone. Well, you can rent season 1 from us or borrow season 1 from us. So, of course, that is a free rental with your library card. We don't charge anything for that. So I like to tell people we're a lot better than Redbox in that way, if Redbox is even still around. But we can be a resource for DVDs as well as TV series. And I would also mention we have a digital platform called Hoopla. Mm-hmm. That aside from having ebooks and audiobooks that people can freely download, it also has TV shows and movies in there as well. And not just theatrical release movies, but also documentaries and educational programming.
I know about Hoopla, but I'm interested for everybody else to hear a little bit more. Can you tell me more about that program, how it works?
Sure. Well, Hoopla is an app that you download. They've got it on the App Store and the Google Play Store, and it's got ebooks, audiobooks, TV shows, movies, magazines. There's another set of great popular magazines in Hoopla magazines. They have something called a binge pass, so you can use we'll back up a little bit. Every library card holder receives a particular amount of borrows every month with their library card, and each of the items within Hoopla will cost you, it's free, but it'll cost you a borrow. So binge passes are great because you can check out an entire suite of materials for just using one of your credits. So Hoopla Magazines is a binge pass, and once you spend that one borrow, you get access to probably hundreds of magazines
for a week.
For a week, yeah. And then you could check it out again if you run out of time. Many items in Hoopla do not have a hold list, so 1,000 people could check it out and read it at the same time. There are a few items in Hoopla that will have a wait list. Some of the more popular items, but you just put yourself on the hold list there and then check out a bunch of other stuff while you wait for the book.
Those binge passes are really great. And one of the cool things that Hoopla does on the last week of every month is they offer bonus borrows. So they cost you nothing in terms of your monthly allotment of borrows. And it's just a suite of curated items that they've picked, and you can borrow as much as you like from that collection. It always has a specific theme and kind of a topical interest there, but I always look forward to bonus week.
That's great. I'm an avid user of Hoopla, and I will recommend it to everybody. It's amazing. You have access to so much, and so it really is a great resource that you guys have.
What's your favorite aspect of Hoopla?
Just being able to access nearly any book I want right from my phone immediately. And I know some people prefer to read hard books, but sometimes it's just easier to just get it on your phone. And I've used other programs such as Libby. I don't know if you guys have that, but I have used that, and a lot of times you'll have a hold or you'll have to wait, or there'll be like 40 people in front of you and you're like, am I ever going to get this book? But Hoopla, like you said, most of the time you don't have that. You can just get it right there.
And that's what we like about Hoopla. We do know that Libby is out there, and we've considered in it's always at the forefront of our mind of what resources we're offering and are we offering the best that we can. And Hoopla and Libby are very comparable in a lot of ways, but what Hoopla does offer is that catalog of hundreds of thousands of no-wait titles, and that's what we like about it.
Mm-hmm. And they don't have every book on there, but most of the time they have a lot of the popular books, or mostly everything that I've ever wanted to read. So,
have you found the Suggest a Title button?
I have not. I haven't used it.
Well, that's a great feature. The next time you're in there, I'm going to challenge you to find the Suggest a Title, because if you don't see it, there's a way for you to tell us that you didn't see what you were looking for, and it helps us put that into consideration.
It's been a little while since I've used it. I've kind of, like you guys have said, I've just been busy here the last couple of months, so it's been a little bit harder to read. But another thing Hoopla offers is audiobooks, which are amazing. I had never really been much of an audiobook person until I downloaded Hoopla and started listening. So it's really been kind of a game changer for me, and I know probably so many others as well.
Well, with summer reading coming up, it's the great time to try all the reading opportunities available.
Yeah, and with all these prizes that you guys have, I might have to come print off my game board and get to playing.
Yeah.
So we are here at the St. Helena Library, but I know we have many locations. And if you can see in the camera, it looks like we're sitting in a giant basket. Can you tell me a little more about that?
It is definitely a hallmark feature of the St. Helena Library. When you walk through the front doors, you see this basket, and within it, aside from a place where we can sit down and have a conversation, it houses the Gullah Geechee collection. And so there's items that have been specifically curated to educate people on the beautiful culture that exists on St. Helena Island.
It's amazing. Can you tell me more about what other locations you guys have of libraries?
Sure. We have 6 total locations currently, 4 north of Broad and 2 south of Broad. The 4 northern Beaufort County locations are St. Helena, where we are today, downtown Beaufort, Port Royal, and then also Lobico. So if you're out towards the Dale or the Sheldon area, go visit our Lobico library as well. In the southern part of the county, we have locations in Bluffton, very adjacent to the Old Town District, and on Hilton Head Island on your way to the airport.
Great. And I know the Port Royal branch is very new within the last 2 years. Do you have any plans for any other new buildings, or are you guys kind of hanging out with 6 for now?
Well, we are continually advocating with council and our library board for the addition of a 3rd branch south of Broad, so somewhere in the May River Road area, Pritchardville. Last year, we did purchase land for a future home of a library out on May River Road. So we're hopeful that will help propel us into the future with future design and build, and hopefully bringing you another library.
It's amazing with just how big and spread out the county is. It's amazing just being able to have these resources to where it's accessible for everybody, no matter where you live. So I think it's super amazing that you guys are constantly expanding and spreading out there. If somebody wanted to get a library card, what do they need to do?
No, they just need, you could start out on our website, at BeaufortCountyLibrary.org. We have a Get a Library Card page where you can just answer a few questions, and that will send it to our branches, and then at your convenience, just come into the branch and pick up your physical card. But that online site will give you a temporary card that you can utilize. But we do ask that you come in and pick up your physical card, because there's just so much available, and we'd love for you to see our library system. But you'd really just need a photo ID with current address here in Beaufort County. So Beaufort County residents are eligible for a free library card, anybody ages 4 and up. So that's an exciting thing for a child who turns 4. They can get their own library card. And then every library card has all the things available to it. Access to Hoopla and checking out library books, any of our online resources like tutor.com. Am I leaving anything out with I think it's really that easy. Just to come into the desk and get your library card, find your nearest location, or we also have 2 bookmobiles. One bookmobile, we call it Bookmobile South, goes south of the Broad River, and then Bookmobile North, who makes lots of stops around the county. So on our website, again, we have our bookmobile schedules, and they're refreshed every month, so you can see where to catch the bookmobile.
Yes, I've seen it out and about at several events.
Oh, good.
So that's super fun. And if say you were to open your library card at St. Helena, are you able to use it at the other branches, or?
We can even do you one better. Yes, your Beaufort County Library card allows you to check out items at each of our Beaufort County locations. It also is good at libraries across the state through a network called South Carolina Lens. So we have 21 participating county libraries, including the state library. So we have a list of those available, but if you happen to be in Florence County or Anderson County, or actually in Allendale, Hampton, Jasper County system, the Hardeeville Library or the Ridgeland Library, or even in Colleton County, our neighboring counties, you could use your card in their facilities too and check out something while you're visiting. Yeah, it's
That's
really
amazing.
great.
And that means that we can borrow from each other, which we do very much so. And we call it SE Lens, and you can download the SE Lens app. And when you first log in, you'll see, a spot for your Beaufort County Library card. But when you're searching for something, it might ask you, are you trying to search the entire state? Or are you just trying to search Beaufort County Library? And you can narrow it either way, but it really opens up a world of resources. So we're all borrowing books and movies from each other. And there's a courier that goes back and forth and drops off materials. So when you place an item on hold, it most likely will come from one of our local branches, but it might come from even somewhere farther away. So
Wow.
As a Beaufort County Library card holder, you have access to the entire SC Lens library. So definitely download that app. It's got a digital version of your library card, so you can even just keep that in your phone, and it's just very handy.
You guys have so many resources. It's so hard. We only have a few more minutes left for this episode, but I'm excited to talk with you guys further. That kind of brings me a follow-up question. If you were to check out a book here in St. Helena, but you need to turn it in, but you live 30 minutes away, are you able to drop it off at a different
Absolutely.
branch? And then,
We work behind the scenes to get those items back where they belong.
okay, great. That's amazing. Makes it so much more accessible. But like I said, we are running out of time here for our first episode. Thank the both of you for taking the time out of, I know you're probably very busy schedules. You guys have so many amazing things that are going on here, and I am so excited to be able to learn more and get to hear about more as we do the rest of this podcast.
Thank you for the invitation.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
So if people want to find you, where can they find you online?
BeaufortCountyLibrary.org is our website.
Alrighty, and you heard it here. So BeaufortCountyLibrary.org to learn about any more of their resources and everything that the Beaufort County Library System and more has to offer. So thank you everybody for tuning in and listening to our podcast. We are excited to produce this one as well as some more. So thank you for tuning in, and make sure you continue to watch the rest of our episodes.